Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just finishing up another week, and had a couple of engines rebuilt this week, and one that needed pushrod rubbers, and it turned into cam followers, and so it goes on. But it just interests me, the difference between different models and what they do and how. So these three cam followers here are out of a 1976 R90S. It's had a complete engine rebuild, and I can't just find the other cam follower at the moment. It's in the box of stuff I took out, but I just can't put my hand on it. But it kind of looks in between the one on the left and the one in the middle. The two on the right hand side here, they're exhaust valve followers, and they're quite worn. They're worn through almost the case hardening. Like I'm not prepared to have them polished or reuse them or anything like that. These four here, on the other hand, are out of a what purports to be a 17,000 kilometre R100R, a 1996 model. Now they're a bit kind of filmy, but you can see the chips in that one there. If you look, you can see the centre is going out of this one here, and these ones have got some wear and scratch marks and things in them too. Now, as our bikes are getting older, the whole thing about this cam follower thing is becoming more of an issue every day, because now our bikes are somewhere between 45 and 25 years of age. And what I'm seeing more and more is the low mileage late model bikes are actually having this issue more and more and more. And the only thing that I can think of, I know they had a reputation for being hard, or too hard, some of them, is that if they sit for a long period of time and don't do much mileage, when they start dry. And they start dry on the camshaft, and I guess they give up because they're too hard. This is a moderate kilometre bike. It's 76, so it's 40 years old, 43 years old, and it was very worn in the bores, worn in the cam followers. It hasn't done a high mileage. I think it's done under 100,000 kilometres from memory, but the bores were worn, quite well worn actually. They probably had to go to second oversize if we were going to rebore it. And again, I'm just wondering if that isn't because the bike didn't see a lot of work, and when it did get started, it wore quite severely until it got the oil all around itself, and I don't know. It's a funny old story, but these cam followers are getting harder and harder to find, and they're getting more and more expensive. They're chill cast, which is they use a virtually white hot molten metal into a chilled former, pressed. And then they're finished. That makes them very dense and very hard, and then they're finished off in a machine shop. They're properly hardened and then polished and finished, and they come ready to go on the bike. Well, you've got to clean a bit of protective crap off them, but yeah. So when I see, and I'm on quite a few US sites that where people get a beautiful looking old barn find that's cleaned up lovely, and people say, just throw some fuel in it and ride it, man. Not for my money, I wouldn't, not in this country, and I live in Australia. But these things here can take your engine out in one foul swoop. If they shed and get sucked, the bits get sucked back up through the oil strainer into the oil pump. It'll destroy your oil pump and possibly your oil pump housing, and a few other things on the way through. So have a think about it. If you're pulling your engine down, I saw a video recently on one of the BMW classic ride groups, and the guy was rebuilding the engine, doing a wonderful job of it, until he got to the followers, and the bottom of the followers looked like a bloody cricket pitch. It was all cracked and chipped and buggered, and he was putting them back in the engine. So I don't know, not my way to do things, but I just thought I'd share it. Ride safely, stay well, have a great weekend.